Hey, and welcome on the bench here. We have a Music Man 2275-130 circuit. Anyway, what we've got going on is on the back where you can't see right now, we're going to replace all 4 of the main filter caps. First thing to remember in approaching amplifier repair, when you know some of the things that needs to be done, is start out small. And like in my case, I'm not a professional at this, but I have begun studying for over a year now, safety tips, circuitry and different things. So I'm by no means a pro, but I do know enough about what I'm going to do to get into these jobs here. What I'm going to demonstrate to you is the value of replacing something like one component or one area of components at a time, and then fire the amp back up, do some readings, see what we got, and then, for example, in this case, then once the main capacitors have been successfully replaced and I know everything's working there, then we can tackle this issue with these diodes and possibly resistor on the bias and everything. So let's get started on this. Now, we've got our test meter, our workhorse, capacitor meter, capacitance meter, and 2 pairs of different kinds of snip snips. Let's get our doghouse out or off. Okay, so now I'm going to carefully remove the doghouse. Voila. So you can see pretty good there. Get out of here. Okay, so we have, what are these? 2 20 microfarad, 2 100 microfarad, 450 volt DC. Now these are the originals in this amp. That may be a slight, let me get a pointer. This right here may be a slight bulging of the material, or it may have been like that from the factory. I'm not sure. Same thing over here. So yeah. So, you know, these I don't know. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do for your benefit. I am going to undo one end of this capacitor, put it on a capacitor test, and just see what's going on. But these definitely need to be replaced, being the originals. I know they look great, but capacitors don't last forever, especially these kinds here. So I just wanted to show you the layout. Now, you got to keep in mind, you got a few resistors back here, and there's a certain way that electrolytic capacitors have to go in, so we have to make note. Now these two, positive and positive, these two are reversed, and that's very important because Music Mans, for whatever reason, are set to, when you got them on high power, they can run up to like 725 volts on the plates, and that is insane. But anyway, to filter out 700 and something volts, running these two like this provides 900 volt DC protection. And So that's why Music Man did this. So let's get to taking this off and checking the capacitance. It don't really matter what. I'm being double sure. This amp is very good about bleeding off power or voltage from the capacitors. However, it doesn't hurt to recheck. Yeah, so we're good. There we go. Now, with this capacitor basically out of circuit, we know this is a 100 microfarad. So I'm going to set my little meter here on 200 microfarad range. And let's get the bottom lead. Okay, so you can see that on camera. All right, let's making sure you could see. So what this is this 100 microfarad capacitor has over time gone a little bit out of range to 128 instead of 100 microfarad. Well, that's not bad. I mean, really, let's see, over 50 years now, probably, that this amp was built. That's actually pretty good. But let's take out a new one, a brand new replacement capacitor of the same values. And immediately you'll see a difference in size. But we have 100 microfarad at 450 volts. Same values on this old one. Now, I don't know how to pronounce the name of this capacitor. If it is that G-Tech, S-Tech, I don't know. But these run a few dollars more than your common everyday capacitors on Amazon. And these seem to be really good. And so they're not F&Ts, but I think they're going to work well. Now, if they end up failing on me very quickly, then I won't buy any more. But they're not the cheapest, but they're not the most expensive. So let's just, for curiosity's sake, hook this one up, this brand new capacitor, and see what our meter tells us. Okay, so it is almost on spec, 97.4. We have to make sure before we go undoing anything that we have enough new capacitor lead to reach across, which of course we do. Because I can tell you, I'm not a fan of doing like some folks do, and that's just cutting off here on the old capacitor and then wrapping around, like making a hook and hooking to here. I don't like to do that. I like to take everything out and resolder. So we need to mark if you don't have a good memory, write down with a marker, because you can take it back off. Write down with a marker on the chassis of the amp or on something to where you will not get your capacitor off. And actually, I wish I had done that differently. I could have. Anyway, let me write positive over here. This positive will be under the doghouse, so won't nobody even know. If you dig, tap the screen. All right. So let's just make sure we know we have got positive and negative and where those are. All right. So now let's heat this connection up. Bingo. Man, ain't that classy? That's just classy. So we can keep this. We can keep this. Yep. All right. I am going to try to get this off. Put a little heat. Boom. We almost raised that wire, but we didn't completely. It's okay. Made in USA. Praise God. And I mean that too. All right. Let's don't worry about these two. Remember what I said a while ago? We do these things in step. That's the best way. So we want to get a feel for the length of the terminals that they need to be, and we want to cut very carefully. And like I say, I'd rather have just a tad over than a tad under, because that's not going to be good for trying to get these installed. So let's go for the gold here. Okay. Notice that I left where you could read the values on these capacitors. That's very helpful, and I don't know why some people don't do that. This is where a small pair of pliers comes in handy. Let me see. Let me change hands here. Really helps if you can solder with both from both hands. All right. remember, these two wires have got to stay where they're at. So what we have is, I'll have to get the value on that resistor in just a minute, connected to this point. We'll try. Bingo. Yeah. Now, I don't know the value of that resistor, and it's in circuit, so, but maybe with that capacitors out like that, maybe it will read true. So let's go, I'm just guessing on leaving. Looking at probably a 10K resistor. That would seem right. Yeah, and if it is a 10K resistor, then it's within spec. Okay, we're going to read the bands on this little booger. Start off with, we have a brown, so it's a 1, black 0, yep, orange 3, yes. That is a 10K resistor. What is that, a carbon comp? I think that's a carbon comp resistor. We're not going to fool with it because it's supposed to be in 10K. I mean, 9.95K is excellent, so we're not going to worry about replacing that. And these are all axial type capacitors. And what you can do is kind of mark where to cut your leads. I want mine right in the middle, or better yet, here, this is the easier way, take a magic marker and get your, where you can see your values and your direction and everything, and just kind of pull down a little bit on the leads. Kind of get it set where it's going to go in. So you'll know where to cut. This right here can be used to calibrate another measuring device that I have, a meter. So save parts like that. So you notice right away, these two are not going to be touching each other. That's just the nature of the beast. I could have left some lead length on there and put them together. Of course, I could have done that. This will help the mechanical connections stay in place. Yeah, making sure I'm in, it's sitting on this RTV sealant. Go back and double check. Yeah, this resistor right here, that's a 10K. So we can see our values, negative to negative, positive on this one is on this side, negative over here, and then negative on this side, positive on that side. So we have got that completed. this stuff on the inside is not going to make contact, you know, to help press against anything. So that's where this compound is going to come in handy. This jack goes to an 8 ohm resistor load. Yeah. Would you please? I got my DC meter. Got the meter set on DC for 1,000 volts, because the next smallest increment I have is 200 volts, which I know is going to be running more than that through here. So watch here, watch over here. We're going to start the variac on going up in the voltage. And as soon as there's enough voltage, my little meter here will start reading. We're at 27 volts. Back the variac back down. Got it on low. Power switch on the Music Man's on low. So we're just going to again go up with the variac. And I'm going to get this meter set to voltage. There we are. We're at 36 volts. Noises, anything. We're up to 110 volts supply. We got 2 volts now. Okay, so I'm going to cut the power supply voltage back down some, because this has a standby switch. I just don't feel safe without cutting it back a little bit. So let me hit the standby. Now you see that voltage jumped up. We only got 58 on the supply, but now we're at 118. So the power transformer is doing its job. See the difference in the numbers? 126 here, 62 over there. So there we are. We're tapping out at almost 120 exactly. That's what this amplifier is designed to run on. So we know everything's good. So we just need to let it sit, and another day or something, put a doghouse on, and I will take you through the next process that I want to do on this amplifier if it's needed. If it's not, we won't worry about it. So hope you have enjoyed this, and thank you so much for watching. God bless.